And I think it's really important to understand, like, what I had to get to is knowing that if I have an idea, it didn't come from me. It came from God, right? So it's like, if I'm thinking of something in my head and I can't stop thinking about this thing, that one, again, it didn't come from me, but two, it has to come through me. So it's like that in itself helps give me the confidence to do what I need to do, because it's like, if God gave me this idea, that means he's going to equip me with all of the things that I need to do and the confidence to get it done. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Being Me is Dope, where we have therapeutic conversations to empower creative minds. I am Nate.
I'm Rose.
I'm Mike.
I'm Saya.
And today we'll be talking about what, Mike?
Unleashing me. Trusting yourself as a creative.
I love it. So, unleashing me, trusting myself as a creative. So many different directions I want to go with that, I'm gonna be honest. And man, I'm just thinking about the confidence to trust yourself as a creative, especially when you're building something that you have not seen, right? You have this idea in your head and you're thinking like, okay, I want to bring this thing to life. And there is definitely some trust that has to happen, because nobody's coming to save you, nobody's coming to build it for you, and nobody can see the idea that you have directly within your mind. So with that being the subject matter for this episode, I would love to hear from y'all and just hear your thoughts on unleashing me. Unleashing me is fire. That should be a shirt.
Honestly,
That should be a shirt.
I'd wear it.
Shirt.
That's hard.
Yeah, so I would love to hear from y'all on that.
Word.
Well, shoot, I'll start off. When you said it starts with the confidence, I think confidence is half of the battle.
Say that.
I think you need to find your purpose too, because your purpose will give you the direction. You feel me? So if you don't understand your purpose, you can't really trust yourself, because you don't know where you're going.
Y'all starting already, I see.
But,
Okay.
That is important, that whole like purpose piece. It's like really understanding your purpose, because if not, you get wrapped up in somebody else's purpose and you never tap into your own. So
Yeah.
you never unleash you.
Yeah. And I think it's really important to understand, like, what I had to get to is knowing that if I have an idea, it didn't come from me. It came from God, right? So it's like, if I'm thinking of something in my head and I can't stop thinking about this thing, that one, again, it didn't come from me, but two, it has to come through me. So it's like that in itself helps give me the confidence to do what I need to do, because it's like, if God gave me this idea, that means he's going to equip me with all of the things that I need to do and the confidence to get it done.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I have to know, just like I said before, I'm a vessel. He's going to give me what I got to do. I can't worry about the how. Just take a step. Just take a step.
I feel like we about to go deep. I feel.
Oh, yeah, come on.
I feel alive now. I don't know if it was the
because I'm about to throw a
pre-podcast
wrench
joint.
in it.
Right.
Right. Go ahead.
Because I feel like everybody right now is speaking from a place where we all are standing in the version of ourselves that is actively unleashing me, right? We're doing that now. But think about way back when you had the idea, when you had the inkling, when you had the thought and you wanted to do it, and you had to give yourself permission to unleash yourself for the first time.
Right.
That's a different thing. So I like when you said, it's not about fully confidence, because you're not confident when you first decide to unleash yourself and like let the world see you. You're not confident, but you do have, the purpose side, and sometimes you don't even really know that it's God. You don't even really know that it's bigger than you. It's just like, it's this thing that I can't stop thinking about. And like, I'm going to try to bet on myself. I'm going to see where to get me, and that's really hard. That's really hard. And I'm trying to like think back to when I first, actually I know when I first unleashed me, really, it was kind of out of like a desperation place of like, I got to do something, because staying in this box is smothering me, or staying in this place is so uncomfortable and I don't know what to do about it. So let me just go try something else.
Right.
Like that's really where I was when I first started. And sometimes it's that before you get confident and before you get so sold on what your purpose is, you know, you just gotta lean in. And I think sometimes it begins with just trying stuff.
Yeah. That's a fact. Yo, because I don't know about y'all, but like you said, the space that you were in was so uncomfortable.
Right.
And I'm somebody where I'm like, if I don't move, it's going to be worse off than me moving.
Right.
Like they say,
The pain
choose
of
your
staying,
hard.
yeah.
Right. The pain of staying the same is I don't even know the whole rest of the quote, but it's hard.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
hard.
Right,
It's hard
right,
being
right.
the same. Right. So it's like, that was one. Two, I am constantly surrounded by so many great people. I had to stop being like, oh, they're great, like just them. No,
Right,
you
right.
are
Come
what
on.
you surround yourself with. So it was like, if I'm constantly surrounded by these people, that must mean I am great or I have the capacity to be great as well. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, it's gonna be uncomfortable for me to be small around these people that are just gonna unleash themselves, you know? So I'm like, I gotta buck up and do my thing too. Like,
Yep.
That's it's such a challenging thing. Like, it sounds like, yo, you know what, I'm gonna just do my thing. And it's so, I don't know why it's so challenging. And I know
Yes,
I've
yeah.
had that challenge as well. It may not seem like I have the confidence challenge, but it's like I do. And it's something about like the voices constantly talking like, hey, nah, you can't do this. What if nobody buy the book? What if nobody do this? And it's just like, yo, those voices become overpowering. And I know so many people that'll start something and stop it because it didn't hit at the speed that they thought.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Especially with social media now. So you feel like your joint got to pop by the end of the year. Like, I need to be going crazy.
Right.
It need to hit
sure.
6 figures. I
Bump
need
the
to
end
be
of
able
the
to
year.
get
Need to pop by tonight.
By
Okay,
tonight,
I just
like,
posted it. It
all
need
of
to
the
go.
time I put in on this content. Like, this needs to go crazy. Like, this idea. And it's like,
Yeah.
a lot of times we lose sight of the process of it all. And I had to be humbled and reminded of like, yo, this is a process. Like, if it takes 10, 15 years, this is what it's going to look like. But it's going to change the dynamic of the rest of your life and somebody else's life.
yes.
At the same time, also, just to kind of, you know, turn a little bit, I feel like when you're just focused on you, that's when you begin to quit. When you realize you're creating something of value that's going to help somebody else, that's going to add value to somebody else, it's like, okay, I got to show up for you because you're actually counting on me
Yes.
to release whatever this is, to build whatever this is. And I think that allows us to really unleash ourselves to the fullest capacity. You know what I mean?
Yes. I want to share a thing, if you don't mind. I got this from Will. Some of y'all know Will.
Shout out Will.
But
Shout out Will Tom.
he said this, and it like stuck with me ever since he said it, because as soon as he said it, I saw how it applied to me, but I never just said it in that way. He was like, I understand that I have the responsibility to show up, unleash myself, because I am a filter for all the people behind me. There are going to be things that I am willing to learn, endure, grow through, and digest that the people behind me, they don't necessarily have the capacity to do that. They're not going to go on YouTube and watch a 45-minute documentary by the CEO of Apple to figure out the best business strategies for their life. They're not going to do it. They don't even know that man's name.
Right.
But I will take that information, and sometimes they'll only hear the information if it comes through me, in my voice, in my shoes. And I'm just like, that just sits with me so crazy, because there's so many, especially women in my life, in my audience, my following, whatever, who have kind of just been in my ethos for years. And every day it's like they're sending me messages like, girl, I'm so glad you posted that, and I didn't know about that. And I'm like, everybody knows about this. They're like, I didn't know about that until you shared it. And it's just like, it's just so clear to me that I am a filter, and I have to say it in reverse. If I don't say it, they're never gonna know. If I don't show up, if they don't see it from me, what if they never see it from nobody else?
Right.
Right.
And that's when it's like, okay, now it's not just about me. I'm a put this on my back, and not in like a burden way. It becomes a really beautiful thing when you choose the right perspective on it. But you know, I get excited about that now. It used to kind of scare me a little bit. I kind of used to run from that, but I'm excited by it now. Yeah.
What can I ask you this? What changed? Like, cause you said at one point you were, like, what was the change where it's like, you know what? I got to turn this on and really unleash me, be confident in who I am.
I can't pinpoint a thing. I know it's like time, maturity, life.
For sure, maturity.
God putting his hand on me and really showing me who he's made me to be and confirming that again and again. And like every time he does that, I feel more comfortable to stand in it. And I've been through, in the last year and a half, I've been through my lowest personal lows. Like my lowest low, I had a brother who passed away, so that was like the lowest. But you know, my personal, like, pick myself up off the floor, to just where like things are really in perspective and life is short, and like God was with me in that low, really showing me like, yo, what I put in you is enough. You were already enough when I allowed you to be birthed on this earth, you know? And like nobody's opinion, nobody's comments, nobody's like or dislike can take away from the fact that you are my daughter and I already made you enough. So
Somebody
like,
needed to hear
I
that.
felt that.
Somebody needed
Come
to
on.
hear
That hit me in the
Come
pit of
on.
my stomach.
Wow.
Wow.
That's just it. And when I started getting that, it's just like, all right, let's go. Like, some people ain't gonna like it. That's okay. But God already said I'm enough. So
That affirmation, bro. It's there, and like we still seek it from like other places, and it's like it's right there
for sure.
But it's easier said than done. So let me ask you this then: for what you're building, which is fire, by the way.
Thank you.
Check it out. Check it out.
right.
Can we shout it
Thank
out?
you.
The
Drop it
golden
out.
hour.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I have a talk show. It is called The Golden Hour with Rose Golden. I am your host, Rose Golden, and it is a talk show that honors the in-between. So very briefly, it is about how we're always in a state of becoming, but we only talk about it after we get there. You know, we know about the caterpillar, we know about the butterfly, but never the cocoon. You know what I'm saying? It's a very dark, lonely, frustrating time that we all experience over and over and over. And again, I just felt like I was going through this thing and I'm like, I'm not who I once was. I'm not who I want to be just yet. I'm in this weird limbo stage. And I know I'm not the only one. So where are the other people that I know are also experiencing these same things? And how can we have these conversations to build us up? You know what I'm saying? While we're going through it. And
Like that.
last bit is that it's not that we're just talking about things like, oh damn, yeah, I'm just going through it. Like,
Right.
no,
like
like you know what I'm saying? Like we're not complaining the entire show at all. The metaphor I use is that I may not have won the war, but I've won some battles, right? So I talk about those battles in the show. So, yeah.
Right.
Thank
So,
Y'all better snap for that.
Thank you.
yeah, no, that's fire. That's
Okay.
fire. Just question on that, and very
Yeah.
similar to what I asked Drew. It's like, when was that change? Because this wasn't something that, you know, you had a year ago or 2 years ago. It's like you created this recently, right?
So I've been creating it for the past couple years, honestly.
Really?
Oh
Okay.
yeah. So the episodes that just launched, season 1, I filmed 2021. So that was like
shout out.
May of 21. I filmed the first episode, and then I finished filming the last one in July. So it's like it's been a long process. And then even going back further, I was given the name in 2019. I wrote it down in 2019. I was given the green light back then, but I didn't have the courage. I didn't have the maturity. I didn't have the capacity to do any of that, like really full on, until last year. So I think what, you know, the whole like purpose of, you know, me going through it was just like, I know I'm going through my in-between, but I just wasn't ready to share it yet because like I was still bleeding. I didn't have the scar just yet. I was still
That's
like the wound was fresh for me
good.
when I got the idea. So I was like, all right, so maybe I'll wait a little bit until, you know, they're healed. But then, you know, I went through the whole process of me being scared, me being afraid, and God was just like, bro, I've been told you to do this, so I'm not sure what we're still talking about. As soon as I made a step, things started falling into place. So yeah,
That's
I don't really.
amazing.
I hope I answered your question.
No. You,
I hope. I kinda went off a little
You
bit.
did, but it's one of those things that I love. The last part you said, it's like when you take the step, things fall into place.
That's it.
And a lot of times, I feel like, especially as creators, we may want the certainty
Yes.
of something before you even took the first step of like, let me just walk in faith. I don't know how this is going to work out, but I know what this next step looks like. And we get anxious for steps 6, 7, and 8. And it's like, yo, just take step 1, fam.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
take step 1. I remember when I started the other podcast, Change What We Normalize, back in 2020. And I was like, man, I don't even know how to set this joint up. I did it on my phone. I got this little weak little microphone. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna get a cover art from like Fiverr, I don't know. And I went in on it, but it was literally one step at a time.
Yeah.
Before it started to grow. And it's like, that's how any great thing happens. Even the space that we're in, it wasn't overnight. It was one step at a time with this idea and really unleashing yourself. So
Right. And if I could even add,
no, go ahead.
All right, and then we're going to Mike.
The
To your point of that, like I literally sat in this room that we're in right now and tried to record the first episode by myself, and all of the technology was not working, and it was a mess. And I think a week after then was when I met my producer. That was the one who helped me record the episode. So it wasn't until I showed God, I was like, God, I don't care if I have to do this by myself. I'm going to do it because you asked me to do it. That was when he was like, okay, boom, here you go. Producer. So just wanted to add
somebody
that.
getting free.
Right. Right.
That just brought me back. I was in Cootstown with DWC. Shout out Delaware Worship Collective.
Hey.
I was out there filming a project with them, and we spoke, like, we had a similar conversation. And I said, in our little morning devotion, John, which was fire, super fire. I need to start having it by myself. But anyway, we started talking about how God is not going to just do it for you.
No.
Like, he's going to bring you halfway, but he's already given you everything you need to finish it. That's like, he didn't make, like, these chairs or any of this stuff. He made trees.
Bro, I just said that the
And
other
he gave us
day.
the ability to actually, that's crazy because he gave us the ability to make these tables and make these, everything like that. But, like, just back to your point, if you would have never like said, yeah, I'm actually going to do it, it would have never got done.
Yeah.
And I like what you said earlier too. There's so much power in just writing it down.
Yeah.
Oh
People
my
don't
gosh.
understand
Oh my gosh.
how powerful it is in just writing it down.
Sometimes you're saying yes, God, I'll do it. It's just writing it down.
Right.
Keeping it in your head and saying, yeah, I'm going to do it. No. The proof, that first step sometimes is like, I'm going to write out the idea on paper so God knows I'm serious.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, okay, you did that. Let me give you a little something. And it's crazy how much that changes.
That's the truth, though.
Yeah.
So I always wonder, because I literally was talking about that the other day, like how we have the resources in front of us. We just have to be creative with them sometimes. So I want to pose a question, if I may. Like, why do y'all believe we don't see the resources in front of us? When we know we're given everything we need at all times, why do we still get so caught up in thinking that we don't have it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, she's right though. She's
High
right
level
though.
answer.
Yeah, I think it goes back to fear. It's fear. It's like, yo, I have all the stuff accessible, but I'm gonna make the excuse that I don't have what's available to me, and I'm not gonna be resourceful because I'm afraid. I'm afraid it's gonna fail. I'm afraid nobody's gonna subscribe. I'm afraid that nothing's gonna sell. I'm not gonna make no money. So that fear, which turns into anxiousness, it just keeps you stagnant. So the idea just sits on the shelf. You know what I mean? I got a buddy like that where his ideas, he has so many of them. It's like, yo, that idea is dope. You should do this one or this one or this one. And he has all these different ideas, but he'll never execute on one because the fear of it not working out. But he gets a high off of the idea.
For sure. So many people do.
Like, let me tell you about this joint that's about to go down. It's about to be
About to
crazy.
go
It's
crazy.
like, oh, this is crazy, bro. We gotta do it. And then it's like 2 weeks. It's like, are we still doing it? And it's like, it's just dead. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people deal with
People
that.
say it too
I
early.
used to be that same person too, but then I had to switch my perspective because, like, if I trust God and He made me, I have to trust the abilities that He's given me.
That's a fact.
So why wouldn't I just go and do it? If that, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me how people. Well, it does make sense, but like I don't understand
Right,
how
right,
people
right,
can,
right.
like stay there. if that
Stay
makes
Yeah.
there for a long time. So
because like He's giving you everything, just go and do it.
Right.
sure.
If it fails, it fails, but you have to keep going.
One thing that I am addressing now as I'm unleashing me now, this version of me now. I love that you asked this question because yes, the fear and the excuses, but sometimes what if people just really don't know? What if they're not aware? Their eyes have never been
That's what I'm right.
open to the fact that a phone is a resource. You know? Free internet is a resource. Like, people just aren't, they need someone to make them turn their head to the left a bit and be like, did you know? Like, there's an awareness problem. And I think when you couple that with excuses and fear, it becomes a whole thing and people never go. But one of the things that I'm trying to do is attack excuses with myself and then share my process on how I'm attacking those excuses so that other people can look at me as an example and build their awareness.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you know that I had a friend call me yesterday. They're like, hey, I got to do this thing for work. But, tonight I got to move and I got to save $10,000 and I want to throw this influencer, party and all these things. And I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. You just said you got to do this thing for work like tonight, right? And you don't know how you're going to get it done and all this stuff. And you're taking all of this space and energy of all these other things that you have to do and you're putting them in front of the thing that you need to do. And you're choosing that. Do you understand that you're choosing that? And if you stay in that for the rest of the night, it's not going to get done, that thing that you need to do for work, right? So I want you to be aware that there's something called choices and priorities. And I'm going to show you how yesterday I had to make a list with myself and say I'm willing to do this and not willing to do that because that doesn't equal the result of my priority. And I had to talk through it. And me talking through my thing for him, he was like, you're right. I didn't really think about that. Time is a resource.
Super
Your
resource.
energy that you're putting into something is a resource. If you spend all your energy worrying about all the other things on your list that you have to do, you just wasted a resource. But people are not aware that their energy is a resource.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
Super fact.
Yeah.
So it's
That's a
like
bar.
the awareness.
Right. They're
Like that's
dropping
a huge
the gems.
piece.
Dang.
And I'm
That's
just
crazy.
Awareness. It's
Yeah.
so I was talking to the teens today. I was telling you earlier. I do a lot of work with schools, teens, all that stuff. But we're talking about that self-awareness. And it's like the energy piece. It's like, yo, God has graced you with this much energy for today. And a lot of times you spend it lollygagging or here or, homegirl or homeboy call you up and they just exhaust all that energy.
Yep.
And the thing that's the priority gets none of it or it's lackluster. So then you don't get the result that you're even looking for. And then that starts to play this self-fulfilling prophecy of, I know it wasn't going to work. And it's like you didn't give it the full energy.
Yep.
You didn't allow yourself to have the opportunity to truly unleash you because your focus was everywhere.
Right.
That's a fact.
Dang. And Sai, you mentioned a good point about like having people around you that you can have these conversations with, where I think that's the opposite of what, you guys were talking about, where some people I think share their ideas too soon. Like I think Mike Todd said that you kill a kingdom vision when it's still a kid, right?
Yeah,
like it's something
You
like
kill a king as an infant.
there we go.
Facts.
Right.
Facts.
See, it was something like that.
Now you got the
Yeah,
gist of
like it was
gist of it.
but like there's such a balance between having the discernment of like, okay, when is it time to share, and then leaning on those people that you can trust around
So
you
good.
and be like, hey, I need help refocusing right now, or I need help figuring out what my priorities are right now. You know what I'm saying? So like it's like you have to have that discernment to know when
That's
it's
so
time to
good.
share versus when it's time to keep it to yourself and just write it down and just keep it to
That's a bar.
yourself.
Write it down.
That's a
So-
bar.
That takes patience though, because you get that one idea.
I
You
wanna
be wanting to
share.
like, I gotta tell somebody.
Right.
Like,
Who's
who I
about
gotta
to make
call?
us rich? We
I
about to
gotta
be
hit.
up.
What we about to be out the hood? Like, I
Right.
gotta tell somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, just be patient.
Yeah.
Be patient and allow that thing to develop, because somebody can kill that dream.
Yes.
And then you also have to be mindful of who you are telling this to, because you want people that's coming with the positive energy, the uplifting, and giving you the real. But there can be other people like, that ain't really a good one. You just like, and now their opinion is so just heavy to you that it just kills everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So people gotta be patient with that, man.
Okay,
Gotta be patient with that.
Self-awareness. I take notes. I'm like the world's best note taker. So like I'm gonna run it down at the end. Like, did y'all get that? Okay.
Right,
Run it back.
right.
Okay, because these are gems for real, and like it's about the practical, tangible information. You know,
Yeah.
like how do you unleash you? Like you gotta really do that work for real.
How do I unleash me?
And you're obligated to unleash you.
Right.
You're obligated. Like, that's
Right.
not like an option. That's not up for debate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God didn't bring you here for you to be like, I'm not gonna do that. And it's like, fam, I
sure.
firmly believe that everybody is here for a specific purpose and reason.
Yeah.
and everybody at some point in their lives is an answer to somebody else's prayer.
Yes.
Like I firmly believe that. And it's a quick scenario. I shared this like mad times, but my boy, I'm in this group called Black Men Healing. And he shared this story once about like, what if it's your life, you live this long, beautiful life out and, you reach the end of your life, you pass away and you meet God and God's like, yo, why didn't you do what I sent you there for?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, what's your excuse for God? It's kind of like, oh, I was too busy or, I ain't had the resources, God.
Come on.
And it's like, what are you really going to say? And it's like, for me personally, I don't know about y'all. I ain't trying to have that conversation.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm trying to hell, well done. You hear me? Like,
Nope. You're right.
I'm trying to be like, bro, I done hit the gas. Like I did everything with all the resources I had, and I did it to the best of my ability with a pure heart and pure motives.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we take time for granted, like God owes us more time on the idea. Next week I'll get to it. It's like, who told you was gonna be living next week?
Facts.
Who told you that? Like you that arrogant that you think you just gonna be around. Like you tell God how long you gonna be here. And it's wild, man. That's why I'm so urgent with the things that I do. Not desperate. Like I'm not desperate, just going like, I need to do this. I'm very focused, but I'm urgent. Like, yo, I need to get stuff done.
Focus.
In a timely manner. And that takes focus. And there's so many distractions.
How?
And I think people need to get more focused, man, because y'all are obligated. Y'all are obligated to do what you're called to do. And those ideas, man. Too many people dying with those ideas that we need.
That's my problem is focus. Stormy Wellington, follow one course until successful. Focus. That's what that means. And for me, I'm like, I got a lot of things going on for me. Like I feel like I have a lot of different like skills and talents and abilities and ideas.
Absolutely.
And my problem was like, which one? Which one am I supposed to pick one? Am I supposed to only do one? So like for me, it took a very long time to be like, you can do them all, but start with one. Start with one.
At a time.
Yep.
And was
that's a
hard
bar.
picking
Yeah. It's a quote.
which one.
You can do everything, just not all at once.
Right. Right.
And that's literally
That's so true.
Right.
you can do a few things at the same time.
Yeah.
But like you can't really do them to the best of your ability if you're doing them all at once. So choose
Man,
your
why are we
heart.
so scatterbrained? Dang, like, I blame it on, I don't know.
America.
Because we have a lot of right. It's always
It's so
American.
much.
They to put in front
There's
of
so
us,
much.
man.
You feel like you got to be doing 17 things at once.
Right.
And it's like, you're not even great at one thing.
I mean, because it's like we have to think about we as humans don't only do one thing. Like we're not only good at one thing. Like we know the quote, "Jack of all trades, master of none."
Right.
The full quote is, but oftentimes is better than one,
Yes.
or better than none, better than one. Right.
yeah.
One. See, I keep messing with all these damn
I
quotes.
didn't know that.
Jack of all trades, master of none, but oftentimes is better than one. That is the full quote.
I never heard the second
That
half
is,
to that quote.
but exactly though, like we're forced to pick one thing. When my thing is like, more things I do is more ways to honor God.
Right.
But again, I can't do them all at one time.
That's the key.
But
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I like to cook, I like to dance, I like to do this and that, and it's like I'm not just good at one thing. So that's why I feel like we're like, okay, I have to do everything
That's
because
so good.
we're not only one
What
thing.
have you guys been doing in this season right now as you're unleashing you? Like, what have you been doing to master your focus?
Okay, that was
Right.
heavy. No, I'm joking. So very, very, very practical for me, because the way my life is structured. The main distractions for me was the phone, emails, and social media. So for me, very practically speaking,
Pretty much everybody.
yeah,
Right.
pretty much everybody. I set limits on my apps.
Beautiful.
I have to. I literally have to. I realize I don't have enough control to just not be on it. So I literally have to set limits, and I have to take breaks for like days at a time where it's like I don't look at it because I realize like, oh, Nate, you don't have no control here. Like this is bad, bro. And you're going to put yourself in a position where you're tempted to just be on it. And there's nothing wrong with being on it at all.
Right.
But it's like when it starts to take away from the focus of this, and then you catch yourself in the comparison trap, and then you catch yourself here, and you're no longer feeling the energy that you once had to do what you know you're supposed to be doing right now, it's a problem.
See,
You know
I'm
what I mean?
laughing because I be ignoring them. Ignore limit. 15 more minutes.
Let me get that
One more
15
minute.
back.
Ignore
Man, I
for
only
the
need one more.
day. Actually, we're gonna ignore for the day. So that's
But don't never
that's
turn it
willpower.
off though. Like don't
Right,
delete
right.
it. Just
Thank you for the notification.
Yeah.
However, no, I'm gonna go back on today. So I don't know.
But you have had to do something to tap into the level of focus where you're ready to launch.
Where
you're promoting consistently.
Yeah.
Like what has that been?
Dang, that's a really good question because I don't quite know. Like I don't know if I've pinpointed it yet. I think the limits do help sometimes. I'm like, okay, all right, thank you.
They make you feel,
like,
they make me feel guilty. It's
yeah, because I'm like,
oh,
it's been that long.
So I hit the
okay.
15 a few times.
Oh yeah, big time. I'm trying to think what else. So, all right, I'll mention it because we're grown here, right? So as a woman, right, we have a cycle, right? And we have 4 different phases in that cycle. And I know that there are different energy levels within those different phases of the cycle. So I'm using that. So like right now I'm ovulating, right? I have my most energy. I'm feeling my most attractive right now. I'm my most focused right now, and I'm using that. Whereas when I'm actually, menstruating, I'm going to lay in bed. And I'm not going to feel bad about it because my body's telling me right now it's cleansing itself, so let it be. So that's another thing for me as a woman that I'm I'm practicing right now is just like do what your body is telling you and no more. Like, do not push your body past its limits.
That's so good.
That's another thing.
That's so good.
Yeah. Even men, because it's like, y'all, I believe y'all have a cycle. Like, we are the moon, but y'all are the sun.
Listen.
Y'all have a cycle.
Twitter told me that men have a daily cycle and we have our 28 day cycle.
Y'all are 24 hours. We're 28.
See, we be struggling.
Yeah, every day.
No. You struggle every day,
but y'all don't,
y'all stay, y'all
right.
snap out of it so quickly.
Yes.
We're in it for days and weeks.
We have like 1 to 2 weeks where we're feeling ourselves max. And then it's like, okay, So that is.
Y'all are actually blessed.
But every day we getting hit with the, okay, I see, I got some, I knew something was.
For like 5 minutes.
Something was off. I knew I was thinking like, man, I feel off.
I feel like what happens with women happens with men just in a day. So I feel like y'all might go through your times of like, I have a lot of energy and I'm tired now and I'm moody now, but like it's within a day.
Yeah.
Now, don't quote me. I don't have the science to back this up. This is my opinion. It's a theory.
Yeah.
I'm sure it can be tested and
it was
approved.
Backed by Twitter.
Right, backed by Twitter, period.
Gotta
Thank
be
you.
facts.
Right.
It
gotta be facts. It is facts at this point.
I'll send you the tweet. It's pretty
right, yeah. I believe it.
What about you,
Mike?
So Nate put me on to one of the things, just taking like mental break days. Because like I love to work. I work
Facts.
all the time. I love working.
You a
But
Capricorn?
I'm a Sag.
You a Sag?
Hey.
My Sagittarius in my life, they
My
definitely
birthday's
do
in
like to
December.
work.
Really?
Wow, that's
But, like,
actually interesting.
It's so much beauty in just sitting around and doing nothing.
Right.
And like I think that's when like some of my best ideas come, or like just some of my best like like some of them just come. And another thing I do, I just sit in silence every now and then too. I just put my phone down, just go sit on the couch.
Gonna hit different, don't it?
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Go outside.
Just to reset my mind. Oh, I love going to the park.
Feet in the grass.
The view is,
10
the
toes
view is
down.
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. But yeah, I love going there.
Some people driving by like, what the fuck?
Right.
Hey, I drove past it one time. I was like, hold up.
You said
I
the
spun
hills
block.
are
I said,
alive.
all
Right.
Look at this. But yeah, I just relax and just don't do anything. I think that's the best thing to make me like re-lock in. If I'm always on work mode, my mind and my brain is just going. If I'm just sitting there, it gets time to slow down, get his energy back together.
Facts.
That's
Yo,
so true.
one thing that I used to do, but don't currently do, but we're gonna now do it again, is I used to have like literal monthly meetings with myself. Like every month, what are my priorities? Like literally like, okay, we're gonna do icebreaker first. We're gonna break it down and then we're gonna close out. And but like, what are your priorities for the month? What went well? What didn't go well?
Yep.
What can we improve?
Yep.
And then from there, weekly, what are my weekly focuses? Yep. And then I would do that on Sundays and then schedule out my calendar for the week. And then that next Sunday, okay, did we get everything done? Okay, cool. If not, we're adding what we didn't get done to that week then. So it's like literally having a meeting, a team meeting with yourself.
Yep.
That's one thing that I like.
So many successful people swear by that in the means of like self-awareness and daily tracking.
Right.
Track your mood, track what you eat, track your routine, track how you did, what you accomplished, track your bank account. They literally, successful people like check your accounts every day.
Yeah.
Where is your money going? Like, there's so many things. They believe in tracking and checking in. So that's definitely been the biggest thing that I've been doing lately for focus. And my focus is crazy these days, because I said we ain't got the time, sis. We burnt the ships, okay? We going all in. And the biggest thing that's helped me is building a routine, a daily routine, and telling myself every single day, one, this is the plan God has for me to hit these goals, be successful. So I'm going to get up and do it. But I know that I'm going to feel better if I do every single thing on this list.
Word.
I just know that. Like, I've been down for so long that I know this is going to make me feel better. Why would you deprive yourself of doing the thing that you know is going to make you feel better? How are you doing that? We're not doing that no more. We're done with that. Okay? So we're going to do this routine, not having to think about what am I going to do with my time, because you already planned out your day.
Right.
Stops you from feeling scattered, feeling like unorganized, and you don't have to think about it. You just do it. So then you end up at the end of the day doing so much more.
Right.
And you're like, dang, I was really successful today. And then you feel good. And you feel good. So it's like, yo, set yourself up with a routine that is not crazy for you, that pushes you a little bit, and stick to that for a while, and then you'll just start to feel better.
Dang,
and focus better.
This is good.
That's good, right?
This is good. Did you want to stop and start it, or do you want to just
No,
just keep going? All right, cool. Because I was like, man, I don't want it to cut off on me, but man, you just hit something on the nose. Something that my mindset coach. So I have a lot of coaches. First of all, I have a lot of coaches just because that's what successful people do. And I realized like I got to start doing what y'all doing if I want to get out of that. Because at first I'm like, I'm not gonna make the investment. I'm like, that's just stupid. I'm gonna waste the money on something else. I'd rather you walk me through this. But it was the whole planning your day out. And I used to have a real problem with that, like planning things out. I'm just like, nah, I'm going with the flow. You know what I mean? I'm like Erykah Badu. I'm just outside, just wherever the wind take me. I'm out there. And for me, what I realized was that it's not just planning your day out for the sake of planning your day out. It's like, oh, this is an energy reserve. So now I ain't got to worry about what I'm doing today. I ironed my clothes the night before. Me and my wife's clothes, I ain't got to worry about what I'm wearing today. It's already laid out. I can get up and just move. Move. And I don't have to waste that extra energy on thinking in the morning, like, I don't know, should I? It's like, nah, I'm on the move. I'm focused. And that helps so much with the planning process. When you focus on that planning the night before or your week or whatever it is, it just eases so much anxiety. And you're able to save that energy. They say that about like Steve Jobs, or you would see him, you see all these other, incredible people. You notice that they wear the same stuff like all the time. They're like cartoon characters. You can pretty much predict like, oh, he's going to come out in the house with that. And it's so they can save the capacity for those thoughts and those ideas and that energy for something much more productive than what sneaks am I putting on today.
That's why most of my outfits are monochrome. You see, give me one color for the day,
and I'm outside.
I'm outside, Yeah.
And
I'm even getting like obsessed with the idea of past self looking out for future self, right? So it's like your future self is a lot closer than you think it is.
Yeah.
My future self or your future self is you picking out your clothes for the morning, because you know that in the morning you can save time. Right, and just get dressed, right? Me doing that is also meal prepping. So during the week when I'm stressed and I'm working, I can just say, hey, I have my meal already cooked in the fridge. I can just pop it in the microwave. So it's like we have to stop thinking of our future self like it's 5-10 years down the road, and it's like, no, it's me in like an hour.
Yes.
Me in like an hour.
Like,
yes.
I feel convicted.
Yes, girl. That's it.
I felt like she was just like coming from my soul.
Yeah,
I felt that because I was supposed to be meal prepping again.
Oh, yikes. Okay.
And I've just been slacking.
It's easy-ish,
You're right.
but it's hard to get in the groove of it.
But once you win the pocket, because I was a trainer for quite a few years and did a bunch of shows. It's like once you win it, you in it, and it just takes the effort out of everything else. But now be in the fridge, like, all right, what we need today?
Bro.
Like I'm flossing around that jump. But no, this has been a really just dope dope conversation.
Facts.
I know I have some mental notes, and I actually feel much more energized. There's a little mix of the Red Bull and the conversation, and of course the prayer at the beginning. And I just feel like, man, somebody's gonna be blessed by the insight, the information, the wisdom, and the experiences because y'all were brave enough and bold enough to unleash you. And my hope is that somebody catches this, listens to it, watches it 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and they have the courage to also unleash themselves. And sometimes, like you said, we need somebody to give us permission. Not that we needed it, but it helps sometimes when it's like, yo, you can do it too. In your own lane, in your own right, and you can really get that together. So this has been another episode of the Being Me is Dope podcast. Make sure that you subscribe, like, share, leave a review. We want to hear from you. And we look forward to you tapping in on the next episode. I'm Nate.
I'm Rose.
I'm Mike.
I'm Saya.
And this has been another episode of the Being Me is Dope podcast. Peace.